Hello there guys, welcome back to Younes Talks Football, welcome back to a brand new video. I hope all of you are doing well today. You're getting a double upload because it's funny, it's typical of Younes Talks Football. Every time I put a video out, 5 minutes later something happens. But I saw what went down last night in the early hours and I'm like, oh, first thing tomorrow, this needs to be spoken about. Enzo Maresca. What have you said, my gaffer? And we're going to come to that. Later on tonight, there will be, or this evening, not tonight, there will be the preview for Chelsea versus Newcastle. So make sure you guys are here. Also, keep your eyes peeled on my second channel, link in the description. New video launching later on. So make sure you're going to catch it. Now, before we get into what Maresca has said, because he's unleashed some bombs, right? I want to show you something. He's posted on Instagram for the first time. So yesterday we said that he started his Instagram. Well, here's his first post. Enzo on Instagram, and that's his handle. There we are, Maresca. Right, he's on the plane working. This was obviously on the way or coming back from the Europa Conference League game, saying work never stops. And tagging Chelsea FC. Clearly, that's not him handling the account. But he's working. Good to see. And listen, I've said since Maresca started that so far, so good has been my analysis on Enzo Maresca, right? Far from what I expected at the very beginning. We got to be honest. But I like what I see and what I hear, especially what I hear, right? The way that he talks, what he's saying and whatnot. Fantastic. You can see the players are really fully behind him and they're invested. And then he says what he says yesterday. And I got to be real, now I'm sold. I'm sold. On his intention, at least, in terms of his vision and what he wants to do, how he sees things. Yesterday night, or what I'm about to show you, has been the icing on the cake. Now, sir, you have me on board. You are my gaffer. Completely. Because now he's speaking my language. I got to be honest here. Pochettino, take a lesson from this, because this could have been you. But here we go. He spoke on Reece James. And he called him out publicly. And he's not wrong. Let's get into what he has said. Here's Enzo Maresca, ladies and gentlemen. I expected from him more in terms of leadership. For me, because you are captain, you have to give more than the rest. I am the captain, I can give less? No. I expected, and his teammates expected, to give always more in terms of leadership. But I'm going to stop there real quick, and then we're going to go through everything that he has said, right? Just really quickly. This isn't new. For anyone that's shocked from this isn't new. We already asked questions about Reece James' leadership, right? Off the pitch. We know on the pitch, on his day, he can be one of the best right-backs in the world. We know that. He can be world-class. Off the pitch. Example, vocal, being the leader, well, I don't want to say dictating, but having that connection with everyone, letting everyone know, listen, I'm the one that's captain here, right? We asked questions, if you remember, when Pochettino took over, on whether Reece James was being vocal enough. Maresca's come out and said it exactly as it is. Let's keep reading. Maresca on Reece James, I spoke with him and I expected from him more in terms of leadership inside the changing room and for different kind of things. He is doing well, he is progressing, but from Reece I expected more also in terms of leadership. He goes on to say, he is a reserved guy, but not only him. I think we don't have a proper leader. We don't have those guys. Probably Tosin is one of the guys that is, so the rest, we need to build them. He goes on to say, when you don't have a proper leader, You need to build that. I think we don't have a proper leader. We don't have guys. You can see them. Probably Tosin is one of those guys that is. So the rest, we need to build them. And then he mentions Levi Colwill and Marco Correa are some of the leaders. Also Tosin. The one that is doing fantastic in this kind of thing is Levi. Now you can see that he is one of the guys that is always speaking. We need to build that. Enzo Maresca is finally speaking my language. And actually, I don't want to say finally, because he's only been here 5 minutes. But he's speaking my language, man. Not just me. I think loads of Chelsea fans were stressing the importance of this point. And now Enzo Maresca's mentioning it. This sole point is why, and I feel a bit vindicated here, as to why I was screaming for experience. This point alone. Now you're hearing it from Enzo Maresca himself, saying we haven't got leaders, so we got to build them. Chelsea Football Club shouldn't be in a position where we are building leaders. We should have leaders in place, and then you're building leaders that have the example to look to within the squad. But we ain't got that. So Enzo Maresca here is completely 200% correct in what he is saying here. Completely. And to make the point on Levi Colwill, you remember last season when Levi Colwill himself said the first time he had to give a team talk. Do you remember? I can't go back and find exactly what video it was, right? But it was mentioned on here. And Levi Colwill was speaking about the first time he had to give a team talk and how he was super nervous. He was a little bit out of his comfort zone, his words, right? And good, because that's what you need to do. It's nice to see that he has really picked up that baton and he's running with it. And now he's coming out of his shell properly and he's feeling like he's doing what needs to be done. So Levi Colwill here, absolutely. And you can see it. Levi Colwill now needs to lead more in terms of example on the pitch, I feel like. But again, he's a young player and that's going to come with time. He's not a ready-made product yet. He's still growing and he's still developing. We know this. So I'm not expecting miracles of him. But it's nice to see that off the pitch, he's really embraced it and he's doing what needs to be done. Reece James, on the other hand, is someone that can lead by example on the pitch, but we know that off the pitch, he's just not vocal enough, man. We know this. And even on the pitch in terms of... Look, as a captain, you have to be loud. I think there's exceptions. There's certain exceptions, and I'll give one example, and you guys will be like, oh yeah, okay, cool. Frank Lampard. Frank Lampard wasn't the most vocal guy. But you just knew that whatever he did, you just had to take example from. It's Frank Lampard. Do you know what I mean? John Terry, on the other hand, now that's leading by example on and off the pitch. The guy does not stop dictating and leading. You have to. As club captain, this is something that Frank Lampard wasn't. John Terry was. Club captain, Azpilicueta was. Club captain. You have to be loud. I'm sorry, you have to. And if Reece James is feeling like he's a bit inferior or that's not his comfort zone, I'm sorry, you got to take example from Levi Colwill here. Levi Colwill was someone who was feeling nervous, out of their comfort zone. Someone that didn't really feel, oh, can I do this? But he's done it, he's embraced it, and he's now doing it. That is what Reece James needs to do. If there's one thing to take away from this video, in order to grow, and in order for you to take yourself to the next level, you have to take yourself out of your comfort zone. There's no other way. There is no other way. Don't let anyone tell you that it can be done differently. It cannot be done differently. For you to grow, diamonds are made under pressure. You need to embrace the pressure. You need to embrace the discomfort. You need to embrace the pain. If Reece James is an introvert, that's okay, but it doesn't mean that you can't force yourself to do what needs to be done. When things need to be done, you do them. Whether you feel like doing it or you don't feel like doing it, you do them because you have to. End of story. If you're not prepared to do that, then I am going to say it here, you should not be the club captain of Chelsea Football Club. End of story. End of story. You can be a vice captain, no problem, because a vice captain, and even a vice captain, I feel like should be a little bit vocal. I use Frank Lampard as an example, but that doesn't mean he was quiet. No. Frank Lampard, when he had to speak, spoke. But he wasn't a JT. JT was just like, he didn't stop, right? But as a club captain, I feel like you need to be that. You are the captain. You are the one leading. How can you be leading and not talking? You know what I mean? Levi Colwill, I'm really glad to see has embraced it. We've seen some behind the scenes things, and it's true. Tosin seems like someone that, and he's 26. Tosin is one of the senior players here. Tosin seems like someone that is quite vocal naturally, right? He just needs to come into his rhythm on the pitch, I feel like. But the whole point of this, this isn't a let's, gun down Reece James. No. This isn't that. I'm not saying Reece James should have the captaincy stripped. No. There's a reason that Maresca's doing this here. There's a method to the madness. Don't get it twisted. This should light up a spark under Reece James. This should wake Reece James up. This should get him understanding, oh, that's what I need to do. Okay, cool. And then he goes all guns blazing. So now what I'm expecting and what I'm waiting for is Reece James, now your time is here. If I'm going to quote John Cena now, your time is now. You have to come out of your shell now. Now's the time for you to be club captain. Yeah? Club captain. So, that's what I think Maresca is trying to do here. If we're going to use a brief example, look at the way Maresca publicly spoke about Mudryk. Fair play to Mudryk. He's not let it affect him. He's embraced it. Right? That's not to say Mudryk is now ready. No. But you can see that he's using that. Cool. Reece James, it's time for you to use that now you're back playing. Now's the time for you to show that you've got a bit of lip. Because as a club captain, you need to have some lip. Simple as that. And I welcome what Maresca has said in terms of leaders. I absolutely do. Owners, the club, sporting directors, listen. Maresca is spot on here. Listen. So if it comes to a point where we get to January, we get to the summer, right? We get to a window and we realize we're still suffering in terms of this, you need to take action and get in one or two proper leaders that can lead this team by example, because that's what's necessary to take Chelsea Football Club to the next level. You cannot be a regular, consistent top 4 team or competing for the title if you haven't got leaders. It doesn't exist. It can't happen. So, big up to Enzo Maresca. And I fully respect what you're saying here, and I completely agree, and it's nice to see that he's called it out. Now it's time to see the reaction. So, let me know your thoughts down below. And I will give all of you my preview later on tonight, so make sure you guys are here, or this evening, like I said, Chelsea-Newcastle, so make sure you guys are here for that. Hit the subscribe button, notification bell on socials, on screen, and in the description. Make sure you're following on those, as I'm super active on there. And I will catch all of you this evening. Don't forget to let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I want to hear what you guys have to say. And we'll get to it all later on this evening. See you later. Have a good one, people, in a bit. Take care and peace.